Natural disasters are unpredictable as they are devastating. In Guyana, hundreds of villagers in the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo, Region 9 are either displaced or suffer due to either flooding or extreme drought. In these instances, the government is forced to face the economic consequences, directing scarce resources to relief efforts that would have otherwise been spent on improving social services and raising standards of living. This stark reality necessitates that the country develop a comprehensive disaster preparedness plan that are designed to lessen the impact of a disaster. The adverse impact of natural disasters often cannot be fully prevented, but their scale or severity can be substantially lessened by various mechanisms and strategies. That is where the basic agreement on technical cooperation between the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Federative Republic of Brazil for the implementation of the project technologies to reduce the effects of drought in Region 9 comes into play. Following President David Granger's state visit to Brazil in December 2017, where the complementary agreement was inked, the CDC has been tasked with coordinating the project. In this week's Government in Action, we take a look at the project, the progress being made in the drilling of the wells across the South Rupununi to reduce drought, how the project will benefit the villages, and the unprecedented relief it will bring not only to the residents, but the regional administration as well. The complementary agreement signed states that the government of Brazil shall undertake to promote the transfer of Brazilian knowledge and experience related to mitigation of the effects of drought, provide the means for implementation of activities foreseen in the project, send consultants and experts to implement activities to be carried out in Guyana, support the development of the Guyanese technical team's capacity to drill artesian wells, and monitor and evaluate project implementation. Meanwhile, the government of Guyana, as prescribed in the agreement, shall undertake to take responsibility for the maintenance of the artesian wells that will be drilled during the practical operations on the ground, appoint a technical team to monitor and participate in activities to be implemented, provide the technical team sent by the government of the Federative Republic of Brazil with the logistical support required to implement activities of their responsibility, and to take measures to ensure that activities implemented by professionals sent by the Brazilian government will be continued by professionals from the Guyanese implementing institution. The project commenced on October 4, 2018 and has seen the drilling of 8 artesian wells ranging from 80 to 100 meters in depth in 8 villages, namely Aishalton, Chiricano, Shia, Marawano, Awarano, Karaudano, Achiwib, and Baishadron. The wells were handed over to the government of Guyana and the villages on November 28, 2018 at Aishalton Village. Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, explains that the project is an important part of disaster response and preparedness, particularly during the El Niño season.
The project, apart from providing potable water to residents, is an effective risk reduction initiative aimed at minimizing the effects of droughts that are experienced annually in the target communities.
Vice President and Minister of Foreign Affairs Mr. Carl Greenidge, who delivered the feature address at the handing over ceremony of the wells this week, said the project comes at a time when the two countries are celebrating 50 years of diplomatic ties. He noted that Guyana is susceptible to droughts and floods, and the Rupununi is no exception. These floods and droughts have impacts on the lives of the residents of these communities, and this project has therefore been completed and recognized as a significant achievement, he noted.
Safe and adequate water is, of course, essential to existence of communities on both sides of the border. And these efforts at the bilateral level to deal with a problem, a phenomenon that both sides of our border is familiar with, is one that can only ensure that we grow closer together. Both countries have been committed to the Sustainable Development Goals, and it is noteworthy, therefore, that these projects fall directly in the ambit of what is called Goal 6 of the Special Development Goals. These are in relation to Goal 6 is on clean water and sanitation. And the artisanal wells that have been dug are a tangible achievement which has not only been successfully implemented, but I think we can guarantee that they will have a positive impact on the lives and the livelihoods of those of you that are from the 8 communities.
Minister of State Mr. Joseph Harmon, who holds responsibility for the CDC and disaster risk reduction, believes that the wells can bring unprecedented relief to the residents of the region. The Minister of State said the project's significance should not be understated or underestimated, as it will meaningfully improve the lives and livelihoods of residents in the targeted communities.
I stand before you this morning in the midst of what I call an ongoing process whose magnitude and benefits to the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo region and Guyana should not be underestimated. I cannot emphasize enough the significance of this project, not just in terms of the benefit to the people of the region, but as it's occurring within the context of Guyana marking 50 years of formal diplomatic relations with Brazil. This agreement has the potential to bring unprecedented relief to the citizens of the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo region. And it is part of the fulfillment of government's pledge to bring a good life to all the people of Guyana.
He noted that it is the government's responsibility to ensure that adequate systems are in place to provide basic amenities, and this is the first step in that direction.
We said that we will provide a good life for all Guyanese. This is part of that good life which we speak about. And it is important to these communities to ensure that they have a regular supply of potable water year-round. We are aware that in these communities, during the dry season, there is drought. During the wet season, there's flooding. And so what we need to do is to ensure that we do not have the communities subjected to these vagaries of weather, and so that this exercise is intended to satisfy that requirement.
Commanding Officer of 6th Beck Brazilian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Vander Prieira Soares, who provided an overview of the project, said the well in Aishalton is 80 meters depth with a flow rate of 5,000 liters per hour. Cardawano is 80 meters depth with a flow rate of 4,500 liters per hour. Awarano has been drilled to 100 meters depth with a flow rate of 4,000 liters per hour, and Chukandarano was drilled to 80 meters depth and boasts of a flow rate of 6,000 liters per hour. Marawanao's well was drilled to a depth of 80 meters and has a flow rate of 3,500 liters per hour. Shio was drilled to a depth of 100 meters and has a 4,000 liters per hour flow rate, while Achiwib is 60 meters deep with a flow rate of 6,000 liters per hour, and Baishhydron was drilled to an 80 meters depth with a flow rate of 6,000 liters per hour. The wells are all equipped with solar panels and are completely fenced to ensure longevity.
And really, I think it's congratulations to our soldiers, Brazilian and Guyana soldiers. They have done really a really good job, a very good job. Thank you very much for your work.
For Brazil, this project has reinforced a 50-year-old relationship, which is set to take off to even greater heights with a mandate of continued and strengthened cooperation and collaboration. Brazilian ambassador to Guyana, Mr. Luno Popo de Paula, who became emotional at the handing over ceremony, said he was pleased to see such an important project completed, as he noted that more than the increased friendship between the two countries, the lives of residents are going to be significantly improved.
I want to remind that this year we are celebrating 50 years of bilateral relations. So I think this is the most important moment of all celebration of the whole year is today, right now. We are friends, we are brothers, we are neighbors, and this is the best proof at all.
At the center of every developmental and transformative project is the people whose lives are going to be changed for the better. For the residents of Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo, particularly South Rupununi, better days are coming and they couldn't be happier. With the wells now up and running, the Guyana Water Incorporated has approved funding for the installation of water lines from the wells to the homes of the residents so that everyone can benefit. Regional Chairman Mr. Brian Alicock said that the 8 wells across the South Rupununi will result in tremendous relief being given to the residents who have suffered from El Nino. The regional administration, as well as residents, Alicock stated, are pleased with the execution of the project.
We know this is of great help to us, and that years gone by, when there's the dry, when we have El Ninos and so, the people suffer, even the fruit trees would go down, and this now, with the intervention of our Brazilian counterparts in Brazil, we're happy that they could at least do the 8 wells, and that is 8 deep wells, because they're going to 800 feet down. So we're happy about that, and I know the farmers would be happy and the villagers would be happy.
Tushao of Aishelton Village, Mr. Michael Thomas, said that the village is grateful to the government for the project as it will make life easier for residents during the dry season.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank the government for the initiative placed in our region and our sub-district and in our village. We are glad for the 8 wells that will be drilled in our villages, 8 villages in the South Rupununi. We are going to benefit tremendously. I know the residents are glad, the nearby homes are ready to experience this water in the home. We were being suffering for a very long time from the drought in the Rupununi. We would divert to our creeks as the last resort, but then suddenly, after a long time, it would run out of water. So this initiative from the government will benefit us.
Mr. Ridges James, who lives near the well that has been drilled in Aishelton Village, said that for years residents have suffered, but relief is now within sight.
Oh, I'm very much impressed about it. I'm happy because for years we were suffering, especially over the airstrip on the southern part of the village. That those people in that area suffer from water year after year. But it comes to reality now that at least we are going to have, and I think everybody over that side is happy because we are going to have water.
Mr. Vitalis Alfred Tushao of Awarino said that he is proud of the work done by the GDF and the Brazilian military, as it is a big step forward not only for the cooperation between the two countries, but more importantly for the residents.
The villagers feel proud about it, they feel happy about it, and that they will be getting water, potable water, after a good while. I mean, our village is very hard with where water is concerned. We have no flowing creeks nearby. My village is known as the driest village, they say, but not quite. We have our own little dugout wells, but now we're proud to have this soon to be installed water tanks, which will have a distribution system.
As stipulated in the complementary agreement, there was a transfer of knowledge and capacity building during the project. Staff from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Hydrometeorological Office, Guyana Water Incorporated, and the Guyana Defense Force, as well as 2 members of each of the 8 villages, were taught to drill, set up, and maintain the wells respectively. As a matter of fact, the last 2 of the wells at Baishydron and Achuib were drilled entirely by the Guyanese team. Additionally, due to infrastructural works done to accommodate the vehicles of the Brazilian military, the road network from Aishelton to Lethem and from Aishelton to the 8th other villages has been fully enhanced. Regional Chairman Mr. Ali Cox said that the traveling time has been reduced from hours to mere minutes with the improved road network.
They thought it was impossible to have a road going to Baishydron, but it was done. I drove on that road. We took 15 minutes from Atrib to Crowdar, where we used to take 3 to 4 hours to get there. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And the thing is, the contractors tried to go through the white sand going to Baishydron, but they realized they couldn't make it, so they went on the hills. So, that is one aspect of things. During the rainy season, during the dry season, any time of the year you could get to those villages now. And thanks to the support of the government that provided the funds for us to do those things. So put your hands together once more for the government.
Minister Harmon said every stakeholder must be proud of the achievement, while noting that the world can see how, as neighbors, we can collaborate to provide a better life for our citizens. There were soldiers in this project, but they weren't fighting. They were collaborating to provide potable water to our citizens, and it goes to show that there are other functions of the Army, he said. In addition to the wells, the Ministry of Natural Resources, in collaboration with the residents of Napi, Iowa, Parishara, and other villages in the Rupununi, and a local contractor in 2017, constructed one of the first water catchment areas planned for that region. The catchment area is approximately 3 kilometers in length, and the dam is 800 meters and is estimated to hold approximately 3 million cubic meters of water at full capacity. This water catchment area will serve as a model to demonstrate how employing long-term solutions to water management can help communities to become more resilient to the effects of prolonged droughts and El Niño spells and climate change.
Emergency and disaster planning involves a coordinated cooperative process of preparing to match urgent needs with available resources. Government has recognized this and the need for a proactive approach as the climate change and global warming phenomena continues to wreak havoc on the Caribbean and other small island developing states. As the government continues to play its part, so too must citizens, who must recognize their role and contribute to the process. I'm Gomiti Gangden with this week's Government in Action. Goodbye.